Hey man, what's up? Not much. How's your budget going? It's pretty good. I think it worked out pretty well. Nice. So what is your budget? Oh, about $2,300 per month, or approximately $27,600 for the entire year. Oh wow, that's great. So what did you actually end up spending? Over $40,000. Cool. Wait, what? Hello everyone, my name is Zach, and welcome to On Cash Flow, where I help you become a master of your own cash flow. Now let's get started. I'm going to be exposing my entire budget for last year, what I spent in an entire calendar year. It was about $2,300 per month what I budgeted, or approximately $27,600 for the entire year. Now, is that what ended up happening? Did I end up spending about that much? Haha, no. I'm going to be breaking down my budget, my entire year of spending, category by category. But before I get onto that, I just want to let you know that tracking your finances is one of those keystone things that you need to be doing if you want to take control of your finances and achieve financial independence or early retirement. And I have a whole nother video on that at the end, so please make sure you stay to the end. Let's get on to the first category, and I'm going to be doing this from the smallest spending category to the largest spending category. The first one is my transportation category, believe it or not. I only include costs from my actual vehicle in this budget line. I plan on spending about $1,800 for the entire year. And how much did I actually end up spending? Well, I actually ended up spending only $1,609 for the entire year. $191 under budget. Nice. What is actually included in this budget line item? Things such as insurance, maintenance, repairs, registration, gas, anything that has to do with the car, basically. And you might be wondering, why was I under budget on this category? Well, I think a major reason why I was under budget actually was because I literally wasn't able to use my car for over 4 months, because I spent like over 4 months living in Hawaii last year. And during that time, obviously, I wasn't using my car. Plus, I didn't have any kind of like major repairs or any kind of major maintenance coming up on the car. And that is the only category that is actually under budget. The next one is not under budget. It is the business category. And for my business category, I plan on spending $3,000 for the entire year. Now, what actually ended up happening? I ended up spending $3,881 for the entire year. That is $881 over my planned spending. But you might be wondering, what is included in this business category? Well, this is literally only for on cash flow. Any kind of business expenses associated with running on cash flow. So this could be things such as, web hosting, domain names, any kind of equipment, software that I need or use, anything like that, that is what is included. And the reason why I went over budget, I actually have a pretty good excuse for that one. Towards the end of the year, I invested in some pretty good equipment just to basically reap some of the tax deductions and also to hopefully improve my content over time. So I got stuff such as this new microphone right here. I got some new backlights, those little blue lights you see in the back, those are brand new. I got a new keyboard and mouse and just a little bit of upgrades on how I can run and be more efficient with on cash flow. Overall, while it was over budget, it's not too bad. The next category for you is one that hits closer to home, and that's because this category is my home category. For my housing line item, I plan on spending $4,800 for the entire year. Now, what did I end up actually spending? I ended up spending $5,127, which is $327 over budget. Not nearly as bad as the last category, but still it was over budget. What is actually included in this category? Pretty much literally anything to do with my home. That includes things such as maintenance, repairs, utilities, lawn care, property taxes. Now you might be wondering, why was I over budget? And I have another really good excuse for you on this one. The excuse for this one is that I was actually working on a credit card bonus. And in order to get credit card bonuses, you have to meet minimum spend requirements. And I was working on meeting a minimum spend requirement. And one thing that I did to meet that minimum spend requirement was I prepaid some property taxes that weren't due until the following year. Well, not an entire year early, but literally in a calendar year early. And because of that, I was slightly over budget in that home expenses category. The next category that I want to share with you is one that I actually didn't spend any money in, and that is the category of hitting the like button on this video. Yes, it cost me 0 cents to hit the like button on this video, and every single video that I put out, I hit the like button on my own videos. And I would strongly recommend and encourage you to do the same thing to help out yourself, to help me out, and to just help the YouTube algorithm spread my videos to other people who need to see these videos. All right, now let's move on to a category where I spent way over what I planned on spending. And that is with the food category, or I just like to call it my groceries category because I don't include any kind of eating out. I planned on spending $4,200 for the entire year. Now, what actually ended up happening? I ended up spending $5,269 in the entire year for groceries, $1,069 over my planned budget. And this budget category literally only includes things that I get like at the grocery store. You know, your regular food that you're gonna be cooking at home, plus some other like necessities, you know, maybe some toilet paper and soap and things like that. So that's all included in this category. Why was I so far over budget on this category? The reason for that was that I moved to Hawaii for literally 4 months. And food in Hawaii is very expensive compared to the mainland. So when I made my planned spending at the beginning of the year, I actually didn't have in mind that I was going to be living in Hawaii for 4 months. So I didn't include that amount of increased spending.
Yeah, I already ate breakfast. I just need to kill some time before the Coast Guard gets here to tow my boat.
What did you eat?
I had a Reese's peanut butter cup and some Gatorade.
They're not breakfast. I get you Spam and eggs.
And by the way, I have a whole nother video on how and why I moved to Hawaii for 4 months to pretty much have an extended vacation. So I definitely recommend you check out that video on my channel as well if you haven't already. A lot of video recommendations in this video, huh? Okay, but seriously, the next category that I want to talk to you about is a lot more fun, a lot more lighthearted, and that is because I call it my entertainment category, my entertainment spending. I plan on spending $7,800 for the entire year. What I ended up spending was actually $8,148, which is $348 over what I planned on spending originally. But it's important for you to know what's actually included when I say my entertainment spending. Because what's actually included in this is literally everything that doesn't fall under any other categories. I want to keep my budget categories as simple as possible. I try to keep as few as possible. And so this is the most broad category. This is pretty much everything that is not included in any other category. Here's my excuse for why I think I went over budget on this one. There is no excuse, right? When it comes to discretionary spending, there really is no excuse besides you just really wanted to spend that money rather than not spend it. And that is the same thing with me. I chose to spend a little bit extra and I went over budget slightly last year on my entertainment spending just because there were some opportunities to have fun, to have some personal spending, and I took advantage of those because I'd rather have spent that money than have not spent that money, or else I wouldn't have done it. Although seriously, here is a real concrete example of maybe why I partially went over budget. At the end of last year, I took my wife on a surprise helicopter ride, and that was really fun. She had no idea that we were going on that, and so that definitely added to me going over budget in that calendar year. Now, while my entertainment spending is fun and all, there's another category that I have that is just as fun, and that is the largest spending category that I had for the entire year, and that category is travel. At the beginning of the year, I planned on spending $6,000 for the entire year on travel, or approximately $500 per month, you know, when you average it out over in the entire span of 12 months. Now, what I actually ended up spending on travel last year was $17,320. That is $11,320 over what I initially planned on spending. This is obviously the biggest overspending that I did in my entire budget. What's actually included in my travel spending? Well, it's literally anything that gets me from point A, aka my house, to point B, where I'm traveling to, and then C and D, or wherever I'm traveling to at all. Anything that has to do with transportation and anything that has to do with accommodation, that is what is going to be included in my travel spending. So things such as planes, trains, and automobiles, hotels, Airbnbs, ride sharing, you get the gist of it, right? You get what I'm talking about here. That's what's included in this budget. Why the heck did I go over budget on this one? And why was it so dramatically over budget? I think you already know the answer, and that is that I lived in Hawaii for 4 months, right? Yes, unfortunately, I wasn't able to house hack my way into free housing, but I did pay rent while I was living in Hawaii, and that certainly did add up because that's another thing that is not cheap in Hawaii. And so adding that onto my travel budget, that is the primary reason why I was over budget in this category. Seriously though, you do need to watch my other video on how I made it to Hawaii for 4 months. But here's the most fun part here, and that is adding everything together and looking at the total spending for last year compared to what I planned on spending total for last year. But before I get onto that, I just want to know from you in the comments below, how did your budget go last year? Were you over budget? Were you under budget? Or were you, right there, just about right there on budget, right? You're pretty good. How did your spending go last year? How did your budget go last year? I'm really curious to hear from you in the comments below. All right, now let's have some fun by adding everything up. I initially planned on spending $27,600 for the entire year. What I actually ended up spending last year was $41,354. That is $13,754 over budget. However, not all is lost. This was just an anomaly. I'm not going to be making 4-month trips to Hawaii every single year. This was pretty much a one-time thing. And I actually made up for it by having an additional income stream while I was living there for 4 months that offset that overspending. So when it comes to financial independence and early retirement, I wasn't withdrawing like extra money from my investments. I didn't have like a large stash of savings, like a $13,000 savings that I didn't include in my F.I.R.E budget until now. I made up for that extra spending with some extra income that I made while living in Hawaii. And I explained that in my other video, by the way. So if you haven't opened up that new tab, you need to open it up so you can go watch that video. But when it comes to financial independence, early retirement, when it comes to withdrawing money from my investments, I was still very much on budget for last year. Because if you exclude the specific Hawaii income and Hawaii expenses that went over budget, I was pretty much right there in that range of $27,600. And for this year, I don't expect anything crazy like that to happen again. I'll probably be better on track to spend about $27,600 again for this year. And if you want to be on track with your spending, with your income, with your investments, then you have to be tracking them. And you have to be tracking them automatically, all right? You don't need to be doing this manually in any kind of spreadsheet. And I have another video that I need you to watch about where I explain how you can easily track your finances, achieve financial independence, achieve early retirement, and become a master of your own cash flow. That video is going to pop up on the screen right after I get off the screen, and I'm also going to put it in a pinned comment below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from OnCashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time.
Okay, now I gotta switch characters.
Business expenses associated, blah, blah, blah. So, as you know, about why